do that. Or I can do it in the economic, I mean, I don't have a report, but I could mention about that.
Oh, I gotta do the police report.
Follow your lead.
Did you have
Okay.
6 minutes?
Yeah.
There was just, there was really nothing other than the monthly updates, right?
There was nothing
There
unusual
was
with any of that.
Yeah, and there was nothing out of line, so I'll just mention that. And do we have any other, oh, we have finance and personnel report, but that was a short meeting too.
Kim's doing that report.
Yeah, and then we had executive sessions, so, okay. All right. Where's my phone? Okay, I got 7 o'clock. I got 7. I'd like to call the City of Ashtabula Council meeting to order. Today is Monday, May 1st, 2023. If you would silence your devices, at this time, we would like to stand for a prayer and a pledge.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us, so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mrs. Bergen, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Holman,
Present.
Mrs. Mills, Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo,
Here.
Mrs. Foglio,
Here.
Mr. Crawford,
Here.
Mr. Spielman, Mr. Roskovich,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Miss Cooper,
Here.
Mrs. Sheldon,
And you're here. At this time, I would entertain a motion to excuse Mrs. Mills and Mr. Spielman from tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mrs. Foglio. No? Oh, no? Okay. Mrs. Jane Haynes DeGiacomo?
Well, we said it at the same time, so.
I think it was you two.
Okay. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? They will be excused by a 5-0 vote. We are meeting the requirements of the Sunshine Law. We are good there. At this time, I would entertain a motion to convene an executive session at the conclusion of tonight's meeting for the sale and purchase of property, at which time we will reconvene with no action.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo. Would you please call the roll on that?
Mrs. Mills, Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman, Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman.
Yes.
Thank you. So we will go into an executive session by a 5-0 vote to discuss sale and purchase of property. At this time, we would have executive session counsel, Mr. Timonier, Ms. Cooper. Right? Okay. At this time, we will have approval of minutes.
April 17, 2023 regular council meeting was called to order at 7:01 p.m. by Council President Roskovich. Ms. Holman offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Members present were Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Spielman, Mr. Crawford, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, and Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo. Absent was Mrs. Foglio. Officers present were City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Interim Finance Director Sheldon, and Clerk of Council Bergen.
Thank you. I will move that we waive the reading of the minutes in their entirety.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Foglio. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of the minutes by a 5-0 vote. The council would like to request 2 ordinances tonight. Council would like to request an ordinance to hire Marie Veros Augustine I'm sorry, I'll get there, as our new finance director for the city of Ashtabula. We'd like to add that to our agenda.
You need a motion?
Yes, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo, a second by Mrs. Holman. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that to our agenda by a 5-0 vote. I would also like to request that we vacate Aiden Court, which is a small street in the city on the west side, between Benefit Avenue, across from Creative Millworks. I would
So-
like,
So moved.
Second.
we have a motion by Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo, second by Ms. Foglio. All in favor of adding that to our agenda?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 5-0 vote. Thank you. Mr. Timonier, you have items for us this evening?
I do, thank you, Mr. President. First on the agenda, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Carbo Companies of Stowe, Ohio, for the purpose of providing street paving for the city of Ashtabula for our 2023 paving program in an amount not to exceed $1,428,000. Funding for this project will be taken from Fund 212 and Fund 261.
Mr. President,
Yes.
move on the manager's.
Second.
Second.
Who's second? Did you second, Ms. Holman? All right, we have a motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. Holman. Any discussion? I would just like to say, I'm so proud that our citizens are happy that they passed our paving levy a couple years ago that allows us to do over almost $1.5 million of paving this year. And I give kudos to Mr. Pugliese. I remember he said, well, let's put a levy out, and I thought, well, I don't know. But then the citizens got behind it and passed it, and so I think we're happy about that. I know I am. Any other comments or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 5-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Crowder Detention of Urbana, Ohio, for the purpose of replacing 2 jail doors in the Justice Center in an amount not to exceed $39,987. Payment for this project will be taken from the Permanent Improvement Fund 412.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 5-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Brobst Tree and Stump Service with a mailing address in Saybrook, Ohio, for the purpose of providing bulk yard waste, tree stump, and limb disposal for the city of Ashtabula in an amount not to exceed $11,400 for 2023. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 205.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Mrs. Foglio, motion, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 5-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter into a settlement agreement with Penny Dock and Transport LLC here in Ashtabula for the purpose of authorizing the acceptance of payment of $175,000 in settlement of damage caused to the city's wastewater outfall pipe.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo, second by Mrs. Foglio. And I just say that's nice that that's worked out. I'm assuming Ms. Cooper office had a lot to help us with that.
Instrumental.
Mrs. Colgan.
Ms. Colgan? Okay, good. And Mr. Timothy, and it's good that we get along with our businesses and so forth in the city, so that's a good idea. It's a good that we're having this settlement. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 5-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to enter in an agreement with Glacier Insurance Agency of Jefferson, Ohio for the purpose of managing the city of Ashtabula's liability, property, casualty, and auto insurance for a 2-year period. Glacier is a commission-based agency. Any commission will be collected directly from the insurance carrier and not from the city.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Mr. Roskovich. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add that to our agenda by a 5-0 vote.
The next ordinance request is in the absence of Mrs. Sheldon, our interim finance director, an ordinance to appropriate supplemental increases and/or decreases in the water pollution control and special improvement district funds for the period of time from January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Ms. Foglio moves, Mr. Crawford second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it by a 5-0 vote.
I do have 3 appointments to make to the Health District Licensing Council. The first 2 are reappointments, a reappointment of Mark Brockway, representing campgrounds with a term to expire February 4th, 2028. A reappointment of Ron Keister, representing marinas, with an expiration of February 4th, 2028. And I would like to appoint Brian Pruitt, representing pools and spas, with a term to expire February 4th, 2027.
And those do not need council approval.
Yeah,
We
just a
do?
voice vote on
Okay.
this, yes.
We would like to, all in favor of approving these appointments?
Aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 5-0 vote.
And lastly, I would like consent of council to hire Leonard Emch as a patrol officer in the Ashtabula Police Department as a lateral transfer.
So we need a motion for that one, right?
Just a voice vote?
Oh, we need a voice vote on that
Yeah,
one as well.
And he is, as we mentioned earlier, he's a K-9 officer, so he would be bringing his, it's called a dog, right? I mean, I didn't know
Canine
if it,
companion.
Huh?
That's the canine, yes.
K-9, I didn't know if it was like an officer or something like
Canine
that.
partner.
K-9 partner, thank you. So, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we will welcome Mr. Emch by a 5-0 vote. And that keeps our police department at full staff, right?
Yeah, so we do have a retirement coming up, but this is in order to get all the paperwork and everything done here and have him start, so we don't miss a beat there with
Okay.
overtime and things.
Good,
Yes.
good, that's good.
So I know, Mr. Roskovich, you had mentioned about the 1.42 million that we're spending in just the 2023 street paving program. What's not included in that number is the Route 20/Route 84 project. And most of you have seen the signs go up on Route 20. I believe they're gonna start milling this week. So
wow.
that project is gonna start quickly here. So Route 20, fortunately, it's a mess now with the potholes and everything, but it's
Yeah.
gonna get even messier with all the construction. So please, just a word of caution. Obviously, we want everybody to go home safe. All the workers that are gonna be out there, there will be lane restrictions as the project goes forward. But I believe they're actually going to be milling. I thought I saw May 5th, so it's coming up quick here.
Good.
So we're excited to have that project kick off. And if you've been watching down here at Main Avenue and 48th Street, that entire intersection, lights and railroad crossing signals, that project has started too. So a lot of construction going on in the area, and then add our street paving project onto it. It does sound like Carvo wants to start relatively quickly. So we will be entering all the agreements here this week and giving them the notice to proceed. So we should see some quick movement on all this. Yeah,
That's a new company for us, isn't it,
it
Carlo?
is. This is the first time first time I personally have had them in a bid. And all the bids were competitive. They were all right around that number. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, good.
I do want to add, so I know we're making tons and tons of people happy, whose streets are getting paved. Of course, there's still streets that need to be paved. We'll be coming to you soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes, that's good. That's a good thing to point out. Thank you.
The other things that are going on, again, as far as construction, now that the asphalt plants have somewhat opened up, although we're hearing some snow maybe tonight, which is unreal, but, so it's all weather dependent, obviously, when they make the asphalt. But Aqua, Dominion, and the city, we're starting to do our permanent patches. So a lot of the patches that are out there are all the temporary patches with Colmac. Those then get cut up, taken out, and permanent repairs made. So you will see contractors doing some of those spot repairs that for holes that we made over the winter time here. So all of that is commencing. So we're busy.
Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Timonier, how do you all decide which of the temporary holes actually get permanent patching?
All of them do. So if they were cut after the asphalt plants have closed, so that's usually like in that November time period, they're filled with Colmac, and that's not a permanent solution. So we hire a contractor to go in, cut those out, and then replace it nice and compact it, roll it, and move on. So any of the cuts that we do, sanitary or storm repairs that are ours, we do that for all of them, and then we make Aqua, Dominion, whoever else made those cuts and didn't do the permanent repair, they come through and do that as well when the asphalt plants open up.
Thank you.
And then like other patching, like our guys would do.
The pothole type stuff?
Yeah.
So the nice thing about that is now we will switch over to the hot mix, which is less than half of the cost per ton as Colmac. Again, it's dependent on when they make it. So some days they run just the base, they don't run the finish coat. We have to wait till they make the finish coat. We order our tonnage, and then we go patching.
Okay. And we try to get to as many of those. I know I've suggested a couple. I'm sure the other counselors have. Citizens may call and say, and then the city director will go out and say, yeah, this needs work and stuff. So.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Timonier. Ms. Cooper, do you have anything for us this evening?
I do not, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. And Mr. Timonier has done our finance report. And Council Clerk?
I do not have a report.
Thank you, Mrs. Bergen. Community Development and Economic Development?
So we didn't have a meeting, but I do have a report on how the city cleanup went. That Saturday was a bit wet and cold and wet. It was wet. But we had 250 volunteers that had signed up. 150 showed up. And we picked up 6 tons of trash. So I think that was pretty amazing. Also, I want to point out that tomorrow is Election Day, May 2nd, so the Parks and Recreation meeting will be on Thursday, May 4th. And I want to just say thank you to everyone that helped. It just warms my heart to when our town has team spirit. So,
Thank you, Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo, thank you. And kudos to you and Ms. Mills and all the others who organized that event. And I know when I turned on the computer that morning, because I was one of the ones that didn't show. But when
you were, 100 people didn't come, which I was shocked that 150 did come.
When I saw that, I thought, wow, it's good for them. That's good. So, all right, thank you. Public Works, Finance and Personnel, we have a report,
Yes,
right?
we do.
Okay.
The Finance and Personnel Committee met on Friday, April 21st. The meeting began with the interim finance director, Carolyn Sheldon, asking if there were any questions with the March expense and revenue reports and statement of cash. City Manager Timonier stated that the delay in receiving the property taxes would make the reports look very concerning until we receive those funds, and Mrs. Sheldon stated those funds would be reported in April. Mr. Timonier stated that many of the low balances seen are just a timing of that. The manager also stated that Mrs. Sheldon did bring to his attention that there was a bit of concern with the PI fund. But as he looks at it, it's just a timing issue, and we had to pay for 3 trucks, and that money went out even though it was all encumbered. We have not paid for the other end of it, such as plows, the dump part, and the lift truck, and it was also an expense. Those 4 trucks add up to about $400,000 that went out the door in just those 2 purchases, plus our normal loans and debt payments that have not gone out. That have gone out. Discussion was held on property tax issues and whether or not to request an advance on our second half of property taxes, due to the fact that we did not receive our first half until April. A question was brought up by Mr. Roskovics about the JED boards and what they are permitted to spend money on. Mr. Timonier stated that the JED boards were permitted to spend money on anything that would advance economic development within the JED district. There are 2 different formulas here. There are funds the city receives for administering the water pollution plant that comes out of the JED funds, and the JEDs have their own separate bank account that are managed by the JED board. For instance, the Ashtabula Township JED, if the board determined that signage was lacking and would improve economic development within the area, they could ask the JED board to spend money on that. If some kind of contribution had to be made to a street project that ODOT was doing, and it would enhance the area and access business, they could request funds out of the JED funds also. The city manager reported that 2 sanitation employees that went through the CDL class both passed their test. They were very satisfied with the company, and training was done in the conference room, the maneuverability and walkthroughs of the trucks in the parking lot. Although they did have to go to Pittsburgh to take the test, that was no problem. 2 more individuals were hired in the sanitation department, and that they were able to shift people around in the city. He believes we are currently staffed, but will have a few more shifts coming up. Promotional exams were done in the fire department, and there will be promotions coming in the fire department. Unfortunately, no one passed the police department promotional, so they will have to figure out what to do with another test in the police department. The manager believes that there is a written period that they can object to questions, and he will have to check with the Civil Service Commission. The manager is putting out a plea for anyone who is coming home from college or graduating from high school who needs a part-time job to let him know. He needs 3 people to fill for the parks and 1 at City Hall to mow properties that residents don't take care of, and calls are already coming in. The position pays the maximum allowable hourly wage and up to 29 hours per week. You have to be 18 years or older. The position is posted in the local paper, Facebook, Monster, Job and Family Services. The manager will take both males and females, as long as you can drive a truck with a trailer and a zero turn. And come on, ladies, you can do this. I can drive a zero turn. So anyone who is interested can contact the city manager or put in a application on any of those places that I just mentioned. And our next meeting is May 19th at 8:30.
Thank you, Ms. Fogler. Okay, very good. And I, as Mrs. Fogler mentioned, we have received all our money from our taxes.
Yes, we do.
Even though it was a couple, late. So I don't know if they've given us a discount on the fee or if they paid us interest or what, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying. Okay. But anyway, Public Works,
Our next meeting will have to be determined. We may have to reschedule our next one.
thank you, Mr. Crawford. There was a Safety Forces meeting on Monday of last. It was a very quick meeting. We heard from the police and the fire departments. Basically, the statistics are normal for this time of year. There's been no significant increases in activity. It's basically what we're seeing, and I think that they did mention we're back pretty much to pre-COVID levels in terms of, calls and arrest and, assistances that they provide for the citizens. So that was pretty much the gist of the meeting. Also, if any, we are still in need of a civil service director for our Civil Service Commission. So if you are a lawyer, or if you are like, Mr. Timonier, help me out, if you're like a retired police or fireman or some city employee, somebody who has knowledge of these regulations and rules, the city could use your help.
That was well put, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. And then the other, I would report on the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission met last week. They had 3 items on their agenda. All were approved. One was on Center Street. There's a garage on the corner of Center, and that's Elm. And they're gonna be using part of their lot to sell used cars now. The commission was careful that fences were in place and that lighting will not become an issue for the area residents. We heard from the people who are repurposing the apartments across from Taco Bell on Route 20. I forget, what did you say, 16? I forget how many apartments there were. 12, maybe? 12, I think 12 apartments. But they're refurbishing all those apartments. They are market rate apartments, which means they will be, from what the gentleman said, he was in one of them that they're working on. They're gonna be pretty nice, and they will go for what the market will command. They hope to be done in 4 or 5 months as they repurpose those apartments. And that's a good thing because I think, Ms. Haynes, you may remember one month, this is a while, maybe a couple years back, we had a report on those apartments, and they were awful. Holes in the ceiling, no electrical covers, and so forth. And so to see that they're being repurposed, they got all new windows, and they're gonna be nice apartments for people and families, that's a good thing. So that was also at Planning Commission.
Was that the complex that there was a fire?
I think
that
there was a
thing?
fire there, yeah,
Fire.
yes. And they're working on that. And then the third thing came before the Planning Commission was Sardi's, which we know was recently remodeled. The old Sardi's will become a recovery house for people transitioning from dependency to the community and return to their normal, I don't know what to say, but return to lifestyle of that would be more conducive to them. And I know I didn't say that right, but it's gonna be a recovery house. 30 apartments, or 30 bed maybe. There'll be a couple employees, so it is gonna have, it's gonna produce some income taxes, although minor, couple employees, but that building will be used and for that purpose. Recovery house, right? That's pretty much it. So, and they're gonna be working on that pretty soon also to get that ready and get that up and going. Okay? All right, and that was the result of the Planning Commission meeting last week. The Historic Preservation Committee will be meeting, but I haven't received their agenda yet, so, okay. All right, we are now gonna go on to the legislative part of our agenda. If there is anyone in the audience who would like to comment on any of tonight's legislation, these are our items: the paving of Ferry Drive, the disposal of obsolete police equipment, decreases and increases to a special improvement fund, our paving contract with Carvo Companies, the buying of 2 jail doors for Crowder Detention, amending our traffic control map to vacate Aiden Court, the appointing of our new finance director, a contract with Bropes for waste disposal services, a settlement agreement with Penny Dock for damages that was caused to the wastewater pipe, outfall pipe. Anyone who would like to comment on any of those items? Would you like to introduce, Ms.? Sure. Yeah. At this time, maybe we'll introduce our new finance director who will be hired this evening. Yeah. Come on forward. Why don't you come over here, Mrs. Fogler, and maybe use the microphone?
I'd like you all to meet Marie. She says it's okay to call her Marie,
Yes.
but your middle name is
Eve Rose.
Eve Rose Augustin.
Eve Rose.
Eve Rose
Yes.
Augustin.
But I think Mary.
Mary.
Yes.
This is Rolisha Holman,
To meet you.
Calvin Crawford,
Welcome.
our President John, who you've met.
We met.
It's Mackenzie, she's
Yes,
our
I met
clerk.
her. Yeah.
Jane, you remember Jane?
Yes, yes, I
Our
do.
city manager
I
Jim,
remember him too.
and our city solicitor Cecilia.
Nice to meet you.
This is our new, well, we're going to vote for her.
Face the camera, maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
Oh, I'm
like dancing.
sorry. And there's everybody in TV land. Oh, this is Marie. Eve Rose Augustin, our new finance director after the vote.
Nice to meet you guys.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Would you like to say anything, Marie?
Yes, would you like to say anything?
I'm excited.
Well, welcome to,
Excited to have you.
welcome to Ashtabula, and we think you'll enjoy it here. Huh? Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Fogler. Mrs. Bergen, would you like to read us tonight's ordinances?
Yes, ordinance number 2023-61, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with GPD Group of Akron, Ohio for the purpose of providing engineering, design, and construction administration for the Ferry Drive reconstruction project in an amount not to exceed $92,689. Ordinance number 2023-62, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to dispose of obsolete and unneeded police department equipment. Ordinance number 2023-63, an ordinance to make supplemental increases and/or decreases to appropriations in the water pollution and special improvement district funds for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula, state of Ohio, for the period January 1 through December 31, 2023. Ordinance number 2023-64, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Carvo Companies, Inc. in the amount of $1,428,000 for the purpose of paving city streets. Ordinance number 2023-65, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Crowder Detention, Inc. for jail door 135 and 140 replacement for the city of Ashtabula. Ordinance number 2023-66, an ordinance amending the traffic control map and file for the purpose of vacating a portion of Aden Court. Ordinance number 2023-67, an ordinance appointing Marie E. Rose Augustin as Director of Finance for the City of Ashtabula, Ohio, for a 3-year period commencing on May 22nd, 2023, and authorizing a written contract of employment. Ordinance number 2023-68, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for yard waste disposal services with Brobst Tree and Stump Service for the city of Ashtabula. Ordinance number 2023-69, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a settlement agreement with Penny Dock and Transport LLC, and further authorizing acceptance of payment of $175,000 in settlement of damage caused to the city's wastewater outfall pipe.
Thank you. Is it council's desire to handle these items in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Haynes DeGiacomo, second by Ms. Holman. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will handle these items in consent agenda by a 5-0 vote. I will now entertain a motion to waive the reading of this legislation in its entirety.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Holman moved, Mr. Crawford second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of the entire legislation by a 5-0 vote. I will now entertain a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Holman, second by Mrs. Foglio. Would you please call the roll on that?
Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman, Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills.
We have waived the 2 readings by a 5-0 vote. We will now vote, have a roll call on the adoption of all that legislation.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman, Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills, Mrs. Haynes DeGiacomo.
Yes.
Tonight's legislative items have passed by a 5-0 vote. Is there anything else before council? Do you have anything? I think that's it, right, Ms. Brigham? Okay. That's all for tonight's legislative items. Do we have any unfinished business?
Mr. President, I
Yes.
do have just a question about process. Mr. Manager, we talked about signs for littering. What's going to be the process after we just make the recommendation? Just
We would
location.
look at the area, and then we'd have to make the signs or order the signs, and then we'd post them.
Are we allowed to propose certain locations?
Yeah, I think I mentioned at the last meeting, just send me the areas,
Got it.
and we'll take a look at them.
Yeah. And I would also ask Councilor Haynes DeGiacomo, after participating in the Ashtabula cleanup, I think there were areas where there was a lot of litter, and perhaps we could just target, specific
The
areas.
minute you said that, I could have been boom, 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 yeah. Dumping, a lot of dumping.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for unfinished business? Under new business, we do have a request for a liquor license for the Family Dollar Store on 848 Lake Avenue. I didn't know dollar stores carried alcohol, but I didn't either. But this is a
It
liquor.
only cost $1 there.
Huh? It's
It's $1.25 now.
a dollar and
That's
40.
right.
Here that's not true. But anyway, so this, I think that's Ward 2, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
Any concerns, Mr. Crawford?
No, I have no.
Anyone else? I know it's right next to the beverage shop.
Yeah, it's
So,
same
but,
place.
all right, so we will not request a hearing on that item, and we will let that go with that. Any other new business for council?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you want to start?
You can.
Okay. Councilor Haynes DeGiacomo shared how successful the cleanup was and how important that is to our community. I've also mentioned a lot of times in the partnership if we included Sal Jackson, and they've certainly worked with him over the years. I think it's a little known fact that Sal Jackson, a resident, in my mind, spearheaded the cleanup. I know that he was always concerned about his neighborhood and always wanted the residents to take more responsibility to clean their neighborhood for a number of reasons. He actually started on his own block, and when people would come around, they would ask what he was doing, and he would tell them and they would join in with him. And in 2017, the first year, he actually invited more people and some agencies to support him. His desire was needed, but also in talking with him, an underlying reason he did it was to empower residents to take ownership for their neighborhoods. And he continued to do it, and I know Councilor Haynes DeGiacomo and Councilor Mills wanted to make it bigger in order to have some city support and have it broader, and I commend them for that as well. But I want to also recognize Mr. Jackson in a way of a resolution to thank him for taking the responsibility to actually start this initiative. He is to be applauded for his efforts, and I think we'll get more from our residents if we celebrate residents who want to do things on a large scale to empower and inspire residents to take more responsibility.
And he was, I mean, he gave us a lot of connections that helped make a lot of volunteers.
And especially our youth, who really brought them out.
So you're requesting a resolution of recognition be drawn up for Mr. Sel Jackson?
Yes,
Okay.
So
Sec-
you're making the motion.
I
And
am.
I'm gonna second
And
it.
we have a second. All in favor of drafting such a resolution?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? So we will draft that by a 5-0 vote. And Ms. DeGiacomo, Ms. Holman, maybe you can give some input to Ms. Cooper as she drafts, or Mr. Timonier as they draft that resolution. Okay, all right? All right. Thank you. Very nice. Yes, I remember he's been here many years. And like you say, it's nice to see what he has inspired to grow, so that's good. So thank you, Ms. Holman. All right, anybody else for new business? Okay, anything else I do have something I want to mention, and I think I'll mention it at this time under Tell Me Something We Don't Know. But I want to, I lost my paper. I want to just mention that the City Council Committee on Ad Hoc Committee on Racism had their first public event. I don't know where. And it was last Wednesday, April 26th at Kent State. And it was, okay. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. We had that last Wednesday evening at Kent State. And I will say, we had over 40 people, probably 40 to 50 people.
Over 50, actually.
Over 50. It was a nice crowd. And a very, the crowd was varied in spectrum in terms of employment and where they came from and who they were representing. Just a very, real nice, diverse crowd in that sense. We watched the movie. We had a brief discussion. We watched the movie. In sickness and in health.
Sickness and in wealth.
Wealth, yes. And then we had we went over the health report for the city of Ashtabula, the health profile. Very interesting stuff. And then we had a discussion group. So we were there about 2 hours, but what a wonderful evening. It was really a good evening. The committee put together a nice, meaningful evening. I think having the health report for the city of Ashtabula, it sort of reflected what was happening in the movie. In the movie, they talked about the city of Louisville, Kentucky, right? How they're, in one part of their town, the life expectancy was larger than in the other parts, longer than in the other parts of the city. And in our health profile for the city of Ashtabula, we see the same thing. And some parts of our town, there's an 8 to 10 year discrepancy in life expectancy. And the thing that's interesting, the film was about Louisville, Kentucky, but Ashtabula, I think our town is about 7 or 8 square miles. And so for that discrepancy to be seen in such a small area is really a powerful thing. And so it was just an interesting night. And I think, once again, kudos to this committee and kudos to council for allowing this committee and being, I don't know if the word brave enough, but being forward enough to discuss such an issue and to being willing to deal with such an issue. I think that's good. There's an old saying, I probably heard it, you move a mountain by carrying away one stone. And I think that night we carried away a couple stones maybe. So I just want to say how I thought that was really nice, a nice evening.
Mr. President,
Yes.
thank you for that update. And I also want to thank the planning committee who consisted of Jeff Griffiths, Michael Charney, Mary Peachy Chapman, Jessica Levito, Trish Patton, Jose Zavala, Terry Collette, City Manager James Timonier, and it was really nice to see Councilor Haynes DeGiacomo come and join in the conversation. As he mentioned, there were a number of county agencies who were present, and I really hope that we can continue this conversation, and perhaps either repeat that film again, so folks can come and be informed, or move to the next viewing. But we'll certainly keep you informed of our next steps.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thanks for your support.
They're very good. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us for tell us something we don't know?
I do.
Thank you.
So, if you have seen, I think it was 2 years ago, we painted the crosswalks on Main Avenue. This Sunday, there is a painting opportunity, and you don't have to be talented, because I certainly participated before. It's really easy and fun. It's from 9 to 12. The rain date is May 21st. I don't know what the weather's going to be. I know we're snow tomorrow.
We'll keep everyone posted.
Yes. But you can go on the Ashtabula Arts Center website and find out. But it's from 9 to 12. It's a lot of fun. Come out and join us.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Anything else?
Mr. President, I'm not sure if I was notified today of this by Dr. Timothy Khalil. The Ashtabula train disaster movie has apparently been nominated for 5 Emmys.
Really?
Yes. So at the Emmy Gala is June 17th, so we'll be watching. Hopefully that film will get some recognition at the Emmys.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Anybody else?
I think one final thing, we might have one more council meeting where we can make an announcement, but I want our families and youth to know that there's still a few opportunities left for scholarships if you're planning to go to college. One place you can check is the Ashtabula Area City Schools, Lakeside High School's website. I'm not sure if you all know of other places where students can go and apply for some of the scholarships that are left over. Graduations are coming up soon, so congratulations, but also be safe while you're celebrating.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes. Anything else? And, oh, go ahead.
Tomorrow's election day, so get out there and vote.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, yes, please do. Earl's a worker at the post. He said he's looking for somebody to come visit, at least. Come and say hi, to be there all by himself all day. Okay, good. Well, anyway, so, yeah, and so as we get to summer, I know the weather's bad, but you just sort of sense summer is coming. You could see a lot of activities. And, we love Ashtabula all year round, but we really shine in the summer. So I'm looking forward to that. Anybody in the audience who would like to address council? Okay, at this time, council is going to go into executive session. The city manager and the city solicitor will be joining us. And then at the end of that, we will come out and adjourn, and that'll be it. So everybody have a good week. We will see you on May 15th. Thank you.